Hello, my name is Douglas Pinkham. I am a family and divorce law attorney here in Orange County. I also practice in Los Angeles County, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. Okay, so I am now moving on to the FL 141, the Declaration Regarding Service of Declaration of Disclosure and Income and Expense Declaration. It's a long title. You should know that this form is the only form that gets filed with the court. Your income and expense declaration does not get filed with the court. Your schedule of assets and debts does not get filed with the court. There's a whole pile of documents that I'm going to tell you about and tell you what you need to attach to this. They do not get filed with the court. This is the only form that gets filed, and what it does is it says that you served all of those papers on your spouse and when you did that. That's all you need to do. It's like kind of a promise that I served them, and this goes to the court. Now keep in mind, you may be shortcutting this in your mind thinking, well, all I got to do is fill out this form and send it to the court. You might get away with that. The problem is you're not going to know if you're going to get away with it for 20 years. Because as I mentioned in the introductory video in this section, if you do not do your declarations of disclosure properly, your divorce shall be set aside. That's what the law requires in Family Code Section 2107. So it's not difficult to do these forms. It's not difficult to serve the other party. It's not difficult to put together some attachments. So just do it correctly, get it done, and you never have to worry about it again. All right, so back to the form, FL 141. Again, some of you can see me working on this form as I talk, and some of you cannot. And I apologize for that, but those of you that can see the form, and those of you that cannot, you'll certainly be able to follow along with me as I go through the form. All right. So there at the top, again, it's your name and address. That's about the same on every form. So put in your name, your address, your phone number, and then again, where it says attorney for and name in parentheses, put your name in there if you're representing yourself. An attorney would put their name in if you were being represented. The next section, you're going to put in the county in which your case is pending. Orange, San Diego, Los Angeles, Inyo, wherever it is, put that in there. The next section is the address for the court. You had to put this on the last form, so you probably have it and probably have it written down. If not, again, go on the internet right now, pause this video, get the name of the court, the local name of the court, the branch name, and the address for the court where your case is pending, and you're going to need that for this section. So put that in there, put the branch name there where it asks, and then under petitioner, put your name if you're the petitioner, your name as the respondent if you're the respondent, and then the other party in the proper line. Then the next section, obviously your case number, you need to put your case number on there, where it asks for that on the right-hand side of the form. Then under the title of the form, Declaration Regarding Service of Declaration of Disclosure and Income and Expense Declaration, if you're the petitioner, mark petitioner. If you're the respondent, mark the respondent. And if this is your preliminary declaration of disclosure, mark preliminary declaration of disclosure. Again, we discussed the difference between the preliminary and the final. A final declaration is something you may have to do toward the end of your divorce if you're in a litigated process. Okay. Then the next section, number 1, it asks the question, I am the, and it asks attorney. If you're not an attorney, you're not going to mark that box. If you're the petitioner, mark the box where it says petitioner. If you're the respondent, mark the box for respondent. In this case, we're presupposing that the petitioner is filling out this form, so I'm marking petitioner. Number 2 says petitioner or respondent. We're going to mark petitioner's income and expense declaration, completed schedule of assets and debts, or community and separate property declarations. We're not going to use that form. With appropriate attachments, and all tax returns filed by the party for the last 2 years before service of this preliminary declaration disclosure, and all other required information under Family Code Section 2104 were served on, then put the other party or the other party's attorney if they had an attorney. In this case, we're going to presuppose that they are not represented, and you're going to serve it on the other party by means of either personal service, somebody handed that to them. You cannot serve the other party ever if you are a party to the action. So if you want to have it personally served, any other adult who's not a party to this case can serve them. But in this case, you can also serve by mail. So it makes it real easy to serve by mail. It may be a pile of paperwork, so it might be an expensive mailing, but it's still easier through the mail. So I'm going to say that we're doing this through the mail. Okay, and then right there in the section right below that, it asks for on the date. So that is the date it was served. So let's say it was served today, and I'm doing this form on this date. Okay. Next is number 3. That is all about final declarations of disclosure, and this video is not talking about final declarations of disclosure, so we get to skip 3 since we're not doing final declarations of disclosure. What we're doing here are preliminary declarations of disclosure. So then we go to number 4, section 4, and you're going to mark service of. Actually, let me explain number 4. So number 4, we're going to leave blank in this circumstance. Number 4 is a section where the parties are going to waive final declarations of disclosure. At the time you're doing your preliminary declarations of disclosure, it's likely that you don't know whether we're going to be able to waive final declarations of disclosure or not. So don't mark it. Don't worry about it now. It's not a big deal. If you don't mark that, it doesn't mean that you must necessarily do final declarations of disclosure later, because there's another form later that we can use to waive them if both parties agree to waive the final declarations of disclosure later. So skip number 4. Go down to the bottom, date it, sign your name. First, write your name to the left, Jonathan D. Doe in this case, and then you're going to sign it on the bottom right. And that concludes the FL 141. Stay tuned for the income and expense declaration next.